Welcome to AkweyaTV. My name is Idajo Aja. This episode is going to be a highlight of the maiden edition of AkweyaTV Award held at Ladi Kwali Hall, Sheraton Hotels and Towers, Abuja on the 16th of December 2020. It was with the launch of 50 million naira media fund under the distinguished chairmanship of Air Vice Marshal Monday Morgan, the national coordinator, Benue Rebirth Movement. Our major trust is a spotlight on deserving awardees, celebrating and placing on record their outstanding contribution to the society and nation at large in the different areas for which they were awarded and applauded. We are well informed that public job is a thankless job in every society, and most times have gone unnoticed. However, when people and their works are valued, they feel satisfied and motivated to do more to maintain or improve their good works. Appreciation is a fundamental human need, and people generally accept appreciation when it is shown through recognition of good works, because it confirms that their good work is valued and acknowledged. Therefore, the AkweyaTV Award is a vision of intent to reach the goal of non-recognition of good works in our society, and to publicly recognize and appreciate individuals at certain levels, certain categories of national, traditional, business, education, and political leaders whose selfless contributions in the society cannot be overlooked, but has gone a long way to improve the life and welfare of members of our society. Today, in this episode, the spotlight is going to be on Air Vice Marshal Monday Morgan, retired, the national coordinator, Benue Rebirth Movement.
The Royal Highness is here present. The MD Akweya Television. Distinguished Nigerians, invited guests, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. I'd like to thank the Almighty God for giving us today. In any occasion that people come together to talk about unity, it is a blessing from God. When I was invited as a chairman of this occasion, I was on my way out of the country. I could have stayed longer, but I took note of this day, and I was in constant touch with the organizers. It's an opportunity to talk to our people, to talk about the history of Nigeria. At the time of the amalgamation of this country, the colonialists did a wonderful research. They did research into the migration trends of all inhabitants of the greater Nigeria, and decided to cluster people of the same ancestry together. And that is why, if you see the monolithic north, was so huge when you compare it to the size of Westerners and Easterners. Because those clusters in northern Nigeria were people of almost the same migrational trend. So, when you talk about the Akweyatv Kingdom, it is a group of people that migrated back into Nigeria as far back as 11th century. This is to refresh us here the history of our people. And when we talk about unity, you talk about a struggle in group of people who do not know their history will have a lot of problems in coming together. I am particularly happy because on this occasion I'm talking about on a platform of media. And media is the voice of something. It's a voice that projects something. In the traditional setting, if there was going to be any event in any community, there are town criers that will reverberate it in the communities. But technology and education has made it simpler, that even the radio waves can pass an information so clearly. But made better, technology came with television, that when somebody talks and you see that person, that impression never gets lost. So Akweya Television is a great project that is being programmed and directed by very young people. And I think we should be very, very proud of it. I'd like to thank the MD for his actions. That no matter how small a group is, once they have a voice, they must be heard. On this reason, I want to stand here to say a little bit about the Benue Rebirth Movement. As a retired general, I like to make a comment on my cousin. Okwe is my cousin. And you will be surprised why should somebody who speaks all the dialects, Akwe and Idoma, what's the connection between him? He will tell you much later. Benue Rebirth Movement is a consciousness that came into me. While I was in the service, I was so busy flying. I never, if people are mentioned in Benue State, I don't know them. Because when we left secondary school in 1978, I never came back to that town. I was busy doing the military job. But when I rose steadily in the rank and went to the highest levels and had to command or deputize the Tactical Air Command in Makudi for 1 year, I came to mix with people of Benue State. And I was stung by a peculiar characteristics of administration. That a state that constitutes tribes of different ancestral descent. There is a very sharp line to identify that those from one area and those from the other area. And I don't think that is what the second standards of the national anthem preaches. So I felt that, why are we so divided? It was bothering me. So while I grew up in the rank, and eventually when I retired, I felt that there is a need of a rebirth in Benue. Because Benue State was created from Benue Plateau State. Even when we go back to the memory lane, historically, in the Northern House of Assembly, there were voices. Those of us who are students of history, you remember names like Dr. Jolie Tanko, Dr. David Lott, J.S. Tucker. These were people who were agitated that in the bloc Northern Assembly, the minorities were not having their voices. And that was one of the reasons that the UMBC, the United Middle Belt Congress, was created as an agitating platform to ensure that the minorities have a voice. General Gowon is a minority, an Angas man. He became head of state. And for Nigeria not to derail into oblivion, he used his wisdom to create the 12 states to ensure that the Biafrans never succeeded. And he fought a brotherly war and reconciled everybody after the war. Benue Plateau State was created by military fiat. And my own research also showed that when Benue State was being created, the political class were not consulted. So Benue State was created by military fiat. So if anybody has an impression that the agitation for Benue State out of Benue Plateau State was created by a group of people or a tribe, that person has not told the truth. Because the lopsidedness in which the state is run in aligning to population couldn't be acceptable. We have states that came out of Benue Plateau. Nasarawa State came out of Benue Plateau. Our own brothers, an Alago man, Akwedoma, became a governor in that state. It moved to another tribe. Muhammad Abdullahi is also of Warafa extraction. He became governor. He moved from there to Al Makura, who is an indigenous Nasarawa man. So if there's a seamless acceptance for people to rotate leadership within tribes in a constant assembly, then you can see progress. It is on that line that if a Lalong, who is from Shendam, a small tribe, became governor after a bigger tribe of Jenagang Jang, who is of Birom, a bigger tribe, handing power to a smaller tribe, and that the Tarok under Solomon La handed over power to another tribe. And that Bokos, where Dare comes from, is one of the smallest tribes in Plateau. If such seamless movement is taking place, then it can never be different in Benue State. Why have I decided to take the gauntlet?